of all, we're going to start looking at analytics. Analytics are a function that are available in the cataloguing area when you're looking at resources, and are similar to linked items in OASIS. Analytics allow you to describe the contents of resources. For example, different programs on a DVD, chapters in a book, books of short stories, books of poems, books of plays, basically anything which has several parts inside it. And there's links available in your search results. So when students and staff search, they can either search for the analytics or the linked items or the main item. And when you look at the main item, you can see the linked items underneath. Each linked item underneath is its own individual catalogue record, which can have its own details such as titles, authors, subjects, series, and notes. So they're not physical items, they're items that are within the item. We're also going to look at global change. Global change is a powerful function which allows you to take a group of records and make a change to one of the fields in all those records at the same time. It's a function that you should use carefully because the results are basically irreversible unless you make another global change to change them back. I'll be showing you an example of a use of global change. The global change function does have a couple of screens saying, are you sure you want to do this? So there are quite a few opportunities to change your mind if you're not confident in some areas. We then look at exchange. Exchange is a similar function to global change, except only selected fields are available in this area. And the exchange function is a little easier to use than global change because instead of having to remember the name of a field to make a change to, you can choose the values from a drop-down list. So it's a bit easier to use. Also with exchange, you can specify expiry dates. So if you make any changes to records, the changes can be reversed automatically on a nominated date. The example I use today is you might take a group of resources that are on display or high demand items and change their resource loan category or lending rule so it's not for loan just for a couple of weeks. Then when that assignment's over, when that unit of work is no longer being covered or when that display is being dismantled, the resources will automatically change back to their original lending rule or during the housekeeping process. So we're looking at exchange after the global change. Tags. Talk a little bit about tags. Tags are electronic post-it notes is what I call them. Tags are similar to post-it notes that you use in your library workroom. In your library workrooms you often have piles of resources with post-it notes with things like these need to be catalogued, these need to be culled, these need to be repaired, a teacher needs these are useful for a display. That's a physical post-it note that you put in a pile of resources. Tags are an electronic post-it note that you can attach to records in Oliver behind the scenes. Nobody can see these tags except for people who can see the management screens, the cataloguing screens. And you can have multiple tags attached to records. And they can be added manually or automatically. Automatic tags include the tags that are added to borrower records when new borrower records are added. So when a new student arrives at the school, they're automatically added to Oliver. They're also tagged automatically so that it makes for a quick and easy identification to locate those borrowers. This also occurs for staff. Also, when borrowers are removed, they also get tagged. When a student or staff member leaves the school, they're automatically tagged for removal. After a set number of days, they will be removed automatically, as long as they don't have any loans. However, if they've still got loans, you can still identify them easily by using the tag function. Tags themselves aren't searchable like keywords or titles or authors, subject or series. They're only searchable using Tag Manager. Tag Manager is a function that's available in the management screen only. So remember, tags are invisible to everyone except for staff behind the scenes, and they can only be searched using Tag Manager, and you can have multiple tags attached to each record. You can tag things like resource records, copy records, and borrower records. Tags are also used for creating lists of resources for reporting. So it's good for grouping records together. While we're talking about catalogue, we also talk about resource boxes. Resource boxes allow for the bulk loan and return of items in circulation desk, and we'll look at setting up resource boxes today and how they're lent and returned, and also they can be reported on. In order to set up resource boxes, everything that's going to be inside the resource box needs to be separately catalogued. Each item needs to have its own barcode. And then at circulation desk, when you loan out the box, everything inside the box is lent out. When you return the box, you've got the option of either returning everything in one swipe, or you can say, no, I'd like to return the items individually to make sure everything is inside there. Talking about circulation, we'll spend a little bit of time about looking at temporary loans. Temporary loans are created when loading barcodes that aren't recognised. So in circulation desk, when you're on the loan tab page, if you scan an incorrect barcode or misscan a barcode, sometimes people might scan an ISBN instead of the school barcode. You might type in a barcode instead of scanning it in, and when you're typing in barcodes, if you only enter part of the barcode, Oliver won't recognise it. Also, sometimes barcode scanners misscan. You might scan a barcode, only part of the barcode is recognised, and Oliver needs the full barcode in order to recognise it. At this point, it will attempt to create a temporary loan. Temporary loans will appear on someone's loans list. They'll appear as websites, and they'll also appear on overdue notices. An easy way of returning temporary loans is to use the terminate loans function. The terminate loans function was one of the features we talked about in the recent Build 8 training course, which is available on the SLS website, and I'll be talking about the terminate loans function again today. The other way of returning temporary loans is if you type in the barcode exactly as it's been recorded against the loan. But I'll be showing you terminate loans, which is a much faster and more efficient way of removing temporary loans. Finally, we just have a quick look at branches. We've already covered a course, an advanced course in this earlier this year, which is available on the SLS website. And branches allow you to, at the cataloguing stage, determine where particular resources are held. And you provide with two branches, library and school resources. Library resources are resources that are held in your library. School resources are items that are not located in the library, such as departmental resources may be stored in departments, or possibly textbooks. Students can only see library resources, but staff can see both resources, both library and school resources. When you're searching, when you're using the search facility, or the OPAC or facility, and even Orbit, there's different coloured ticks to differentiate between different branches. The exchange function, which we're looking at this morning, can also be used to move or change copies from one branch to another. So if you'd like to move a whole group of resources, maybe everything in a single collection across to a different branch because they're not stored in the library, you can use the exchange function to do this quickly and easily. So when we look at the exchange function, you'll see where that can be done as well. Okay, that's an overview of what we're going to cover today.